acquire the instrument, and how did you learn to play it?
Well, I acquired it. I love the bagpipes. I love Baroque music. To put the two together, I hunted for a musette. And so I hunted many years, and finally a dealer by the name of Tony Dinger in London located one for me. And I didn't have the money. It was a pretty expensive deal. It was antique. And I went to the Rockefeller Brothers Foundation. One of the Rockefeller sisters, Hope Spencer, her name is a Francophile. And I hid her for the money. And so she gave me the money to buy this. And I brought it to her Fifth Avenue penthouse 2 years later after it was all set up. And she cried. Jokes me up. She loved French music. This was the sound of the French aristocracy. No modern person had ever brought it forth. She was very, very touched. As was Franz Brooklyn. I don't know if you're familiar with the recording, but if you look for it, that was the first recording I made with this musette. By the way, it was going beautifully. Anyway. And he was glassy-eyed too when he heard it. Those Dutch Baroque people, Bruggen and his family and his people, they really fancy themselves as French experts, and they love French music. And so when he asked me to do the Haute de Terre pieces, he was very moved by it too. And I don't know if you're familiar with the recordings, but you noticed before I played, I had to do this. So I started my section and then started to play. The engineer called out, "Wait, we've got to get rid of the sound of the bellows." All this in Dutch. Bruggen back in Dutch. No, it's part of the. So if you ever hear this recording, you're going to hear. And he had all the oboe music together, all the recorded music, all the flute music, but he loved so much the sound of the musette that he decided, and this was originally on LP records, that no one would avoid the musette if they spotted the record. So he divided all the musette things and put it the first band of each side of 4 LP musette. And not avoid. Every disc begins with and how I learned Jacques Auditel Roman, you might be familiar with his recorder treatise, with his treatise for the flute, with his treatise for the oboe. He wrote a treatise for the musette, which is longer than all of the other treatises put together. He put in great detail all of the ways to approach the musette, and that was my teacher.
I have a question. Do you play it with another instrument at all?
Yes, with continuo. You may think that it would make a tremendous clatter and dissonance to hear those drones on top of a normal basso continuo, but I would just recommend you listen to that. I had a wonderful harpsichordist, as you know, Gustav Leonhardt. He was the guy who played the continuo with me. He made certain little differences in the registration. He's a very sensitive player. But I played some of the pieces just with the musette and some with the basso continuo, while with the harpsichord. It's very good. It's a very nice sound, very rusty, and very lovely. You're not aware the drones are such a white noise that you don't. All bagpipes, the ideal is that the drone is more of a white noise. They're usually cylindrical, which has a sort of more clarinet sound, and the chanter is more of an oboe, so you do get a sort of white quality to the drums. The thing about bagpipes, there's hardly any middle ground in people's attitude toward bagpipes. It's not like, what do you think of the bass clarinet? bagpipes is either, you love them or you run the other way. And there have been a lot of discussions among bagpipers why that is. If you'd like to hear it, I'll try to make it brief, but since you're asking questions about bagpipes, and since there has been a little action in bagpipe lore, yes? The bagpipe, let's say, is the only instrument with both a conscious and a subconscious. The conscious is the melody that changes. The subconscious is that straight, unchangeable. Because the subconscious is something that we don't control. It's something that sort of hums with us. And people who listen to the drone, either you can't bear the feel of the subconscious, the hypnotic quality of the subconscious. You either keep listening to it and wanting it to go away, or you get drunk with it, so to speak. But it is hypnotic. You know, the Pied Piper of Hamelin, unlike the illustration in the Golden Book of Stories for Children, where they show you this little piccolo player leading all the children who are mesmerized, the Pied Piper of Hamelin is a bagpiper, and it's his drone, not the stupid little piccolo that overpowers the kids. And people are mesmerized by certain things that reflect the sound of the bagpipe. For example, the ocean. When people sit and gaze out at the ocean, you're experiencing two things: the horizon, which is the subconscious, and the motion of the waves up front. And a person who likes to look at the ocean will have to see two things at once: the straight drone of the horizon and the melodic action of the waves. Similarly, fire. An older fire in the fireplace has a subconscious and a conscious. The subconscious is the steady glow of the embers. That's the drone. The consciousness is the melody of the flames. If you don't like the tune, you pick up a poker and you change the tune. But the drone stays the same. So, things that cause you to become transfixed have both of those elements, a drone and melody. And perhaps that's the attraction, or the lure, the seduction of the bagpipe. So the next time you hear the bagpipe, but it has to be in tune. Because you can't get drunk with the drone if it's really out of tune. It's only if it's really in tune can you accept it as a subconscious state. Did I answer that?
I've got one.
Yes.
So was the call of the siren really bagpipes?
No, I think those are wind chimes. I don't know if any, well, it's a good question. I think the sirens on their island, they sing, but is not there a sea breeze, perhaps, and a whooshing of waves? I think that Ulysses must have been tied to his mast, not only listening to the wail of the sirens, but maybe some other constant sea noise. I'm just making that up like shit.
Sounding good.
What are the silver keys?
The little keys are sharps and flats. And what isn't working is the second chalumeau, which is an extension of the first. These have higher notes, and right now I don't have any a reed that's working. But the musette has sharps and flats, fully keyed. It's the first fully keyed instrument, even before they put keys on flutes and other instruments. The musette had all the sharps and flats and keys for an extended range. This is quite a gizmo. It's quite a sophisticated.
And when was this made?
This was made somewhere around the 1690s.
Wow.
When you tune the drones, then it has to be blown. You have to use your everything.
The bellows and you have to
go
up and down the sliders. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I could have done it.
Well, I thought they were pretty good.
Not bad. But then that it?
No.
Got one more.
Does anyone have a degree in music?
Yes, some students from Toulouse. I'm so jealous. Imagine that. But the French government, you know, you can see why they're interested in providing. Yeah. Is that anything else?
Do you have any trouble going through airport customs?
I have to bring the bill of sale and with me, but yes, not trouble, but I know how to do it. Bring all the documents. Speak enough French to. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
You're very, very welcome.